Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
And I'm Logan.
100. 100. Woo!
Can you have fireworks popping off in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Our 100th episode.
Number 100.
I planned that out, yeah.
We got Logan here for our
Special
100.
guest.
I would play clapping. Okay. You hear that clapping right now?
I don't.
No.
Nice.
I'm clapping in my
Oh, we
own
can't
head.
even hear the regular old standard soundboard
got
stuff.
nothing.
No,
You got
yeah,
nothing,
nothing on
Jerry.
there.
I'm clapping
This
in my
is
own
early.
head.
This is like our early stuff.
There you go.
You want to tell everybody what we're here to watch on our
we're
100th episode?
We are reviewing The Outsiders.
I don't know if you want to just listen to the song or talk over
I
it.
think this should just be like the next. We should just play this on.
I like to let. I was letting a little bit come in, and then
This music right here automatically solidifies it as the best music of the 1983 movies we reviewed so far.
so far, yes,
Because Rumblefish had terrible music and My Tutor had worse. So
horrible. Yes, running time was 1 hour and 31 minutes. Rated PG. Even with all that violence, you would have thought that would have got a little.
But there were no F-bombs or anything, right? Like Rumblefish had a bunch of...
I think didn't he say he was saying "fuck you" to Cherry?
Was he? Are you
Yeah.
sure he wasn't saying it to Patty and Rumblefish?
No, when I think when he says he's like I think
He
when,
might have.
when he was sitting behind her there at the theater.
Yeah, I don't
he
think
said
there
it.
is any F bombs.
Back in the old days, I don't think you could get away with one.
I thought there was, but like after
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I might be wrong. I thought I
heard.
heard one, but then again, we did watch this very close to Rumblefish.
Where he was saying the F word every other word. So my son's sitting next to me now, so I say the F word. I've been cucked by my own son here.
March 25th, 1983. This released in the theater. Directed by Frankie, same guy as last week.
Same director, written by the same person. Fuck, I was going to say it right
it's
this
the same
time. S.E. Hinton. I did
That's a
CS
callback from
I did-
last week.
I did C.S. Hinton last week,
Instead of
and
C.S.
I wanted,
Lewis,
and I wanted to do S.E. Hinton, but it's
S.E.
S.E. Hinton. She wrote both The Outsiders and Rumblefish
and she played a whore.
in this. Or no,
Oh, she
in-
played a nurse in this.
Yeah, she was Johnny's
Played a
nurse.
whore in Rumblefish,
Right.
and she was the nurse in this. Yes.
Jack of all trades.
Most people would say whores are nurses in some way, some regard. Logan, don't listen to me. Don't. Take
No,
me up
listen
on
to
this at all.
every word your father says. Right.
That's true. I make my
Podca-
kids
this
listen to me.
podcast is
Logan
authentic.
hasn't listened to anything I've said for 18 years, so why would he start now?
Well, the rivalry between two gangs, the poor greasers and the rich Soches, only heats up when one gang member kills a member of the other. That's our description. I couldn't give you the other description.
That was
'cause
it, huh? Oh, it was a page?
It was like a
It was like
page
the first three
and-
pages of the book?
I was like, I'll just read the book on here.
Logan and I both actually made the same comment when we were watching this movie yesterday, that when we read the book before seeing the movie, we thought the Soches were the socks. Like, they don't tell you that. She doesn't say when she's writing this book, like,
Obviously, when you're reading the book,
pronounce
yeah.
it this way. So you see SOCS, you're
I
like,
will
the
agree
socks?
with you. I will agree with you. I read that as socks the first time before seeing the
I
movie.
think The
yes.
Outsiders. I read that summer going into 7th grade, and
That's I think
So-
seventh grade is when I
seventh
read
or
it as
eighth,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so when I read it, I was saying socks the whole times, and I think like we reread it, or like we were just going over it the first book when school started. And the teacher kept on saying the Soches. I was like, who the hell are the Soches?
Yeah, I mean it's spelled SOC
Yes.
everywhere.
I mean, I guess it's for
SOC apostrophe S,
society,
yeah.
so the socially
Yeah,
higher
I guess
up,
because,
so
I guess
Soch makes
because
sense.
Soch
But
makes sense, and if you're abbreviating that word, if you're abbreviating soccer, it would be sock, right?
yeah, that's true. So we've obviously all read this book and seen the movie. I'd like to talk to Brian real quick and say, Brian, how many times have you read the book and seen this movie?
I've never read the book and I never saw the movie.
I can't believe that.
While this was required reading in
Seventh grade for me.
1984 West Windsor, in 1987 Hamilton,
High-
and
Grice Middle
2016 Northern Burlington. Back in 1985 Northern Burlington, they didn't even know how to read. They're not doing. There's no required reading. It was, here's how to plow a field. Here's a hoe, and not the good kind. That's all there was. So I cannot believe when you said the other day you hadn't watched the movie, and then you said you hadn't read the book either. I was like, how'd you not read this book?
I don't understand how you hadn't at least seen the movie.
No, I mean, I knew there was a movie, and then last week's when I learned there was a book.
This is one of those movies that was on HBO a lot.
I really felt this was a book that everybody read.
Saw it.
Yeah. I don't understand. I understand you make the joke about Northern Burlington, but they had some sort of
I had to read
curriculum
books.
that they had to read.
They read
books.
like the comics page. They read like Beetle Bailey and Hagar the Horrible
Like,
and stuff like that.
Kids, next week we're going to read Marmaduke.
Oh, that's like 4 syllables. Like that's going to take us a while.
We did watch
Marmaduke,
Shane
three
in
syllables.
history. Like over the course of a couple days, we watched the movie Shane.
And I've seen Shane. Is that historically accurate?
No, I don't think so.
Come back, Shane. Right? Isn't that one? Paul Newman?
I don't know who's in it.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about this cast instead of Paul Newman?
I forgot why we were here.
C. Thomas Howell kicks us off playing Pony Boy Curtis. He's one of the Curtis boys.
Good old Tom Howell.
Yeah.
That's what
I said last week. I said Logan's mom calls him Tom Howell like it's my friend Tom Howell.
Tom Howell.
I actually looked it up today when I was just trying to
This is not our first C. Thomas Howell movie either. We reviewed him last year in 1982 in a movie.
Oh, damn, did we?
Yes.
Hang on.
Let's see if you kids can guess what that 1982 flick is.
What was it, Lo?
Was it E.T.?
It was
Damn,
E.T.
right.
The
He was one of the
extraterrestrial.
friends.
See, I
Yes,
listen to the
forgot about
podcast. I listen.
I talk during the podcast and don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
E.T. and Outsiders are both in his top 4.
Wow. You know what? He's one of those guys
Soul
that
Man.
like.
Is not in his top.
How about
4.
what was, the Hitcher?
He saw Soul Man, but he didn't see the Outsiders.
Soul Man was a good movie.
Did you say The Hitcher?
That's one of those movies that they could never make today.
Yeah,
the
that's
Hitcher,
the truth.
or
The Hitcher is
Soul Man.
The Hitcher is.
The Hitcher is okay. But yeah, Soul Man. That is like that was offensive back then. I remember watching it, being like,
I remember not liking it though.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It had Darth Vader in it.
James Earl Jones was one of the
Yes,
professors for sure.
Darth Vader.
But like a white guy pretending to be black to get a scholarship, that just smacks
A rich
of like,
white guy.
like what are you thinking? Like if it was the other way around, a black guy pretending to be white to get into college, you'd be like, okay, we'll allow that. You know, we'll allow it. But a rich white guy pretending to be black, I was like, whew. Whenever I saw that, I remember I was in high school and I was like, this seems inappropriate. So we've gotten 3 of the 4: Hitcher, Outsiders, and E.T.
Yeah, you should. You knew
Is
the last
the Amazing Spider-Man one of his?
one. Red Dawn is his,
man.
top 4.
Michelle and I were just watching that the other day. Oh my God, we were just watching Red Dawn the other day.
I watched that in Kentucky.
That is
What, Red Dawn?
Yeah, in the theater.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like this week you went to Kentucky.
Yeah, I was like, when were you in
something
Kentucky?
I was like, I watched a movie on a plane going once. Like,
Red Dawn's another one of those.
First PG-13 movie.
That was one of the. That's right. Yeah, I remember when they made that change. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What year was that? 84?
85, I
85?
think. Yeah.
85, right.
I remember not caring. I'm like, what do I care? PG-13. I'm a 15-year-old boy.
We'll get there.
I hope we do, because Red Dawn's a great movie.
Look,
too.
we made it to episode 100, man. That's awesome.
That's true.
With all our Patreon money rolling in, we can make it to episode 102 at this pace.
We should set up our Patreon, man.
Keep
We've been
asking.
talking about this since the first episode. There are people out there going like, how do I donate money to these guys?
there's no one doing that.
Hit me up on Instagram if you want to pay.
There's
If
no-
you want to give us some money, seriously.
This last week,
And also, who doesn't listen to this podcast?
who doesn't listen to this podcast?
Who doesn't listen to this podcast?
I don't know anyone who doesn't listen.
Yeah, you do. Some girl out in Colorado that says she listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Who doesn't listen
Oh,
to
he
this
wants us to say
podcast?
fuck Maury.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, that's right. I have a hard time saying the F word.
Do you really?
Yeah,
He doesn't have a problem saying anything else.
that's true.
The gross sexual things that come out of his mouth, but he wouldn't say fuck.
He says
I
the
don't get
C
that.
word.
It just feels dirty saying that.
What are we doing here? We having Bible study here? What?
I don't know. I
Wait, are you
guess
being serious or is this true?
yeah, I it sounds so natural coming from other people, but when I try and say it, I always feel like, oh, that didn't sound right.
Does it sound natural coming out of my mouth?
Say it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good. I've been working on it for like 50 years, saying it.
Now you say it.
F word.
Say it. Just say it.
Fuck.
Say F you to Andy.
F you, Andy.
No, say the real word though.
Oh.
Say, fuck you, Andy.
Well, now you're putting him
Fuck
on the
you,
spot.
Andy.
See, it doesn't sound bad. You're making it sound bad by being shy.
I don't like.
You're being
for some
shy.
reason,
You're
I don't
shy.
like
You're being
saying.
shy about it.
I can
That's
talk
what it
about clouded, soppy underpants, but I can't. I can't say the
That's
F word.
exactly the point I was saying before. Like the gross stuff that comes out of your mouth, and you have problems saying one word.
Drippy, pussy.
Did you see? He
juice.
basically like he balled up. Like
what?
I don't
But
know what's going on.
Common used one you can't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's 'cause it's-
I don't like saying. I like hearing it. I don't like saying it.
What you're saying is original. I think that's why.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Does it sound okay when I say it?
Oh yeah, yeah. You sounds natural.
Fuck you. Let's go.
Well, fuck you.
Did we get C. Thomas Howell's top 4?
Yeah, we were on to who played Dallas Winston. Do you know?
Dally?
Yeah,
Dally is Matt Dillon.
Yeah, I got to start pointing to this guy more often. I think.
I would have got that.
I think you would have as well. He was in last.
Was
last
Rumblefish
week,
in his top 4?
But we talked
He
about him
seemed
last week.
older in this one. I think
Yeah, he was
felt
the
older.
second youngest.
Yeah. But like he seemed much younger.
I don't know. I don't know if they were filmed.
than in
I think they were
Outsiders.
filmed Outsiders first, then Rumble.
Yeah, yeah. Rumblefish
They,
definitely
I mean, they
second.
came into theaters that way, but I guess they were filmed that way as well.
Because I think they said that he realized he wanted him for Rumblefish after directing Outsiders with him.
yeah,
Which is strange.
yeah, because you would have thought Rumblefish would have been the movie he made first, and been like, I could do this better.
The fact
can
that
do
Francis
better.
Ford
I can do
Coppola
better, man.
directed
I can do
Matt
this better,
Dillon in this
man.
movie
I'm
and
better
then
than
said,
this. I
I'm doing this other movie. I want you in it. When you have Rob Lowe and Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze and Emilio Estevez and C. Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio, and you're like, I want you.
I got nothing else to say now. You just blew my load.
I just don't understand
Come
how
on,
anybody can ever.
man.
I don't understand how
people knew who was in it.
I don't understand how anybody
You
can watch
wouldn't have?
Matt Dillon
No,
act in this movie and say like, that guy's a good actor, because he is a terrible actor. And I bashed him last week, and I'm bashing him this week.
Who?
Matt Dillon. He's a terrible actor.
Oh, you would have
terrible.
about bad acting. Tom Cruise was horrible acting in this.
He had 2 lines.
But I mean, and just walking around with chocolate in his mouth.
He's got banged up teeth. His teeth are so messed up in this. And then
He's got an extra tooth.
he's got
He actually sounded Oklahoman though. He was the only one who sounded like it was from Oklahoma.
and so he did this, and then
Come to
we.
catch a murder rap, man. I thought maybe in New York City.
I think we
That's my
learned
Matt- that was
last
my
week
Matt
during
Dillon.
Rumblefish that he was going to do Rumblefish, and then he got Risky Business, so he didn't do Rumblefish after
Yeah.
this.
That was
movie.
very smart.
Yeah, very smart. And look at the
Although maybe
career
he might have made
trajectories.
Rumblefish better.
He could have.
Because he might have been doing his own stunts by then.
He could have made it to space 5 years earlier. you know?
And then playing little Johnny Cade, who was actually playing a 16-year-old.
Karate Kid.
37-year-old
He was,
Ralph
he was
Macchio.
20 in this.
He was
I
20.
think he was 22. Yeah,
My God,
No, he
he,
was
was
20
he
years
looked
old
like
in
he
this.
was
20
10.
recording or how old the character? He was 20 years old. Like,
He's the second oldest.
He's 20 in
this
real life.
Cast.
wow.
as he filmed
And he
this.
looks like he looks like he's 12.
Oh yeah.
The only one older than him was Patrick Swayze
Yeah.
of the main guys.
Yeah.
He looks.
And Leif.
Well, I mean of the greasers, yeah, but he looks like he's wearing bronzer through this whole entire movie.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't remember him being that dark in Karate Kid
Well, he's in
or
Oklahoma. You know, he's all
Also, I think
greased up.
he was supposed to be look dirty.
Thomas
That's what it-
Howell and
he was supposed to look
dirty.
dirty.
Living a
That's
lot.
what it was. I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
He's been living within the lot, sleeping
That's
on
what I
Sleeping
thought.
outside.
I thought,
oil
yeah.
tires and
I didn't.
And he just got beat up.
I know
So he had
this-
that. He had his face was all.
We're fast forwarding a
Bruised
lot
and
here when I say this, but like, why did C. Thomas Howell? Sorry. Why did Tom Howell have to dye his hair blonde? But
Yeah, the murderer didn't.
yeah, like
They didn't
what?
really, and also they didn't take much off either, did they?
no, they
It's
just
so
like
dumb. It's so dumb
butchered
to
each
think-
other's hair.
It's so dumb to
Oh,
think
yeah.
like, be on the lookout for these two guys. They might have bad haircuts.
and I think
They're kids. They don't know any better. Logan right now Logan wouldn't even think to change his hair at all.
Nah.
He's on the run for something, some crime. He's not like
He'd be
buying
caught at the
bleach
front
or-
door,
Yeah.
coming back to get fresh clothes.
He's like, what?
like I forgot a snack.
Wait,
or
murder?
something. Yeah, I
What?
forgot my shoes. I forgot my Apple, my phone charger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nowadays, that would be a big. I can't leave.
yeah.
So you go to jail or you don't have your phone. I guess I'm just going to go to jail.
What do you got for Ralph's top 4?
Karate Kid.
A bunch of karate stuff, I would
Karate
imagine.
Kid
Right?
is in there. Yes.
Is like Cobra Kai in there?
Cobra Kai is not, but Karate Kid is.
But just one Karate Kid,
No,
or
there might be another
many?
one.
Karate Kid 1, 2, 3.
2 is not in there. 3 is in there. That's all the Karate Kids.
That's when he went to Japan.
Is
The
it Outsiders is in there?
And then there's one more movie.
One more. Will we know it?
Yes.
Should we know it?
Yeah.
Damn, Ralph Macchio, man. He's one of those guys that I didn't really care about that much.
Did you say Utes?
Oh, wow. My cousin Vinny.
Oh yeah, I
Forgot about that. Yeah. Good job, Jay. I like that. I like that little clue there.
Thank you.
That was Herman Munster.
Thank you. That's my Fred
I'll be here all
Gwynn. It's my Fred Gwynn, please.
Sorry.
You didn't go. You needed to go down like 3 octaves. The 2 what? The 2 Utes.
Playing Daryl or Darry? Would you call him Darry?
Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darry.
Daryl.
I wouldn't have called them either.
Daryl.
I would have called him
I would call him
Daryl.
Daryl.
You can call me
Or
Daryl,
D.
or you can call him
Well,
DMC.
Dallas is also Dally.
Nobody got the DMC.
I got
I can't
DMC.
win them all. I can't get them all, everybody. Right? He died in 2009,
Pancreatic cancer.
57 years young.
Man, I remember
He
he was
had
going through that
one of
shit.
the best moves when they went to the Rumble. When he comes out of the house, he does that fucking gymnastic thing over the fence.
Yep.
That is so
that was great.
Awesome.
And then Tom Cruise falls out of the
jumps
truck.
off the car and lands on his face. That was before the
But
stunts.
Patrick Swayze, excuse me, Daryl, he perfect landing.
Yep.
Oh,
He had the perfect.
well, he was.
Oh, that
he
dude.
was-
I mean, like, I don't know if was he shirtless in this.
yeah.
Yes.
But there's.
Remember,
he
because
was-
they said he just likes to show off his muscles.
Yeah.
He was
I was like,
renowned
okay.
for being shirtless in all his movies. And I never saw Dirty Dancing, but I saw the
I did.
video, and he was shirtless in that. And then, of course, Saturday Night Live with Chris
What about?
Farley, where
was
he's
he,
a
did he get topless in Ghost?
Maybe.
I didn't
But,
see
mean,
that,
that dude
yeah.
had the V
Oh, yeah,
he
that-
had going
yeah.
on.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
When he came on, Brady actually came in for that part, and Brady's pants went instantly tight, and he was just like, "I'm gonna look like him."
the man that
I'm gonna
wants
be
to-
all
I
jacked
thought-
like him.
I thought you meant he was like pulling his pants down to jerk off to Patrick Swayze.
He wanted to, but his mother was there.
And I wanted to point out the man that wouldn't say fuck wants to talk about his son jerking off. That's great.
To another man.
To a bunch of men and a little boy. This Logan's a little boy. You can't
is
say
a
that
little
stuff
boy.
in front of him.
I'm a real boy.
You want to try his top 4?
Swayze,
Yeah.
Ghost.
Roadhouse,
Roadhouse.
Ghost and Roadhouse are both in there. Yes.
And Dirty Dancing,
Dirty
probably.
Dancing is in there. One more.
Outsiders,
No.
Red Dawn.
Oh, that
No.
the arm. Oh no, was he in the? No, he was. That was. I'm thinking Roadhouse.
I thought you had something there. Where were you going?
The
with
arm
that?
wrestling one.
Not over the top. That's
Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
The arm.
I thought you were saying armed robbers or something like that. Maybe.
Oh, Point Break.
Point Break.
There you
Wow,
go.
great job, Brian. Have you ever seen that movie?
I did.
Ah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Man, Patrick Swayze did a lot of good movies.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Died way too young.
That's sad. Yeah, he was a very good actor. Playing the third and final Curtis boy, Soda Pop Curtis, was Rob Lowe.
First role, I think, right? First
And I
time
think
ever.
he's the sexiest of all
I
these
mean,
guys. Yeah.
Dude, when he came out of the shower,
You knew he had something. He had something. Damn.
I mean, we
Well,
talked about it
goddamn.
the entire movie, like how Francis Ford Coppola loves the smoke. I think most of the smoke was in that bathroom when he was walking out of the shower. I mean, he was all, I mean, I remember when we watched it in middle school, the girls told the teacher to pause it 5 times, rewind it, keep playing.
I think Logan's
Even-
mom said last night they used to pause on this scene a lot.
Yeah.
when he
Rob
came out.
Lowe, man, he's
Yeah.
been making many generations out there happy, huh?
You know what? We grew up with Rob
Ruined a
Lowe.
lot
And
of seat covers.
we grew up with Rob Lowe, and he's one of those guys that everybody knows. But I'll tell you, Parks and Rec, he is awesome in
He's
that.
very funny
I
in that.
love him in Parks and Rec.
Very
And
funny.
That was great that he found that role 30 years after his like biggest
How
fame.
about
and
Tommy
kind of-
Boy?
No, I'm not saying Tommy
I know,
Boy's
but
not
I'm just
great,
saying
but
that's
like
another great role. That's like that.
But like-
You forget about that he's in
Yeah.
it. You know
Didn't
what
he
I
get
mean?
in trouble? But then he got.
well, he
out.
had sex with like underage girls and videotaped it. He was
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
first of
okay.
those ever to do that.
Wow.
But like underage,
groundbreaking.
He was like 22 and they were 16 or something. It wasn't really.
And he's
it was
Rob
like
Lowe.
it was like
Yeah.
They
is that
weren't-
underage?
I think that was his defense. Your Honor,
I'm Rolo.
Rob Lowe
Have
was
you
the guy
seen
in-
this
in the
body?
video.
Would you not have sex with his body?
He's like,
Your
is that
Honor?
the guy that was in the shower in The Outsiders?
Yeah, that's what he just pulled up that picture, and they were like, "Oh, case dismissed." Sorry,
What do you got for it? What do you got for it?
Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Tommy
Well,
Boy.
Yeah, Tommy Boy or
No.
Parks and Rec. No,
No.
oh wow,
The Outsiders?
Outsiders. No,
The Outsiders, yes. Saturday
How about-
Night
how about-
Live.
oh, Saturday Night
sketch.
Live?
Think of a Saturday Night Live sketch.
How about St. Elmo's Fire?
St. Elmo's Fire? In there.
Nice.
Get there.
Also a great movie.
Boom.
Saturday Night Live sketch. Rob Lowe.
Yep.
Oh, is he? He's not the camp out guy. That's Stephen or Alec Baldwin.
And then think of an HBO movie he did.
Damn.
A few years back.
I can't think of anything.
About a
Damn.
famous piano player.
Oh, is he in the Liberace movie?
Behind the Candelabra. Very good movie.
Is he the like?
He's the doctor.
Oh man,
He's the plastic surgeon.
Michael Douglas is Liberace,
Yep.
and Matt Damon is his lover, right?
Yep. That's a great movie.
Man,
if
I
you
don't
haven't
remember
seen it.
Rob Lowe being
I've
in
never
that.
seen that.
He's the doctor. He has.
Yeah, I'm
his
sure he
has-
is. I just don't
he's
remember
really,
being in that.
He's like really sunburned, I think, from the sun and everything.
From those Tulsa, Oklahoma
Like
winters.
But
And what was the other thing? Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live sketch that became a movie?
I'm gonna hate that I don't know this.
Yeah.
That became a movie.
You haven't even guessed any Saturday Night Live movie.
World.
Wayne's World is correct.
Oh, that's right.
Damn, he is in Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
He got it on the first try.
Huh.
That's all it takes.
I'm a professional.
Where did he learn that?
He has such confidence. He stole all your confidence.
Wayne's World, though. He was great in that.
Playing 2-Bit Matthews, one of my favorite characters in this movie, Emilio Estevez.
Oh yeah, best.
That was Christine's favorite.
That was the best character.
He's great.
By far.
Big Mickey Mouse fan.
Big Mickey Mouse fan.
Hey, 2-Bit.
Had
Yeah,
the-
Mickey
all-
Mouse is on.
All the different shirts and like
Different colors.
as soon as Mickey Mouse is on, he has to stop.
He stops.
Everything he's doing. And he was the one eating beer and chocolate
chocolate
cake
cake,
for
yeah.
Well,
breakfast.
Tom Cruise.
Tom
takes it
started
out,
with the
but
cake. Yeah.
Then he goes, "I'll watch Pony Boy," and then just proceeds to get a can.
He's like, why did you get a job, 2-Bit?
And the entire plate of chocolate cake and just sits down.
These are parts that you would have probably thrown in there. Get a job, 2-Bit. You probably would have thrown that in there.
Oh, yeah.
If you had the sound.
You get a job. You ever think you get a job for living
I
too
can
hard?
add it in later.
That would have been pretty cool. That would have been awesome.
That would have been pretty cool.
I can cut all that out and then just put in the sound bit.
Emilio
don't.
Estevez doesn't have a really fun top four. It's The Way, Bobby, The Public, and Young Guns 2.
Not Mighty Ducks or
Dude.
Breakfast
Yeah.
Club.
That is a terrible top
Right?
four for him. Not Men at Work
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I
man,
thought
come
Mighty
on.
Ducks would have been in
Or
there.
Breakfast Club.
or Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a terrible top
Is
four.
he saying Almost Fire as well? Or is he not in that one?
I don't think
forget.
he's in that.
One of the Brat Pack members.
No, he's not in that.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think he's in that
I don't
one.
think him, yeah.
Steve Randall was played by Tom Cruise.
Who?
Tom Cruise. I think that guy, he was going to be something.
Do we have another Tom Cruise movie this year?
Is Risky Business this
Risky
year?
Business is this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't do Rumblefish because he was going to be in Risky Business.
So he went from 0 to 100.
And has been at 100 for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or 35
Still
years.
looks like
And he's 60 now, I believe. And I believe
still looks like he's
still
in
doing his
Risky
own
Business.
stunts.
I think we first started talking about the Wilford Brimley line when it was decided that Wilford Brimley was in Cocoon as an old man.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise hit his age and he was hanging out of an airplane in one of the Mission Impossible movies.
But that's like, and the stunts he's doing are like insane stunts,
Oh.
like just like motorcycles off of like just giant
Just-
cliffs.
oh,
He flew
yeah.
the jets in that jet
In
movie,
Top Gun,
right?
yeah.
The jets in that
movie.
jet movie.
In Top Gun.
And it's really
What was
crazy
it? What
because,
was the
like,
tag? Top Gun. What Maverick?
Maverick. But it's really cool that he does all that and he puts that effort in. But it's almost like, dude, you don't have to do that. You can do CGI and no
Yeah.
one
But now
knows
that's
the
what people
difference.
are looking
I
for.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
It's
what-
great that he does it. I
And
appreciate that he does
I
it.
really, I think it has something to do with Scientology.
And one of
Yeah.
these days, many years from now, we'll be talking about like, God damn, and that's how Tom Cruise died? Like, he got hit by a truck just across the street? Like, what? He did a movie in space?
No, he was like- he
how
was-
did that die in space?
He was like in a grocery store and got hit by like somebody came out with like a hand jack, ran him over.
Yeah, right? He's
You
just
know
going
what
to
I mean?
die by accident. And we're going to be like, he didn't see that coming, I guess.
Can you get any of his top four?
Edge of Tomorrow.
No.
Jerry
He has a
Maguire.
great
Jerry
top
Maguire,
four.
yes.
Mission Impossible.
Any of
1,
the
2,
Mission
3, 4,
Impossibles?
5, 6,
Mission
7.
Impossible 2.
Just
That's
two.
the only one.
That is the worst one by far.
Only one.
It's the
Risky
only one I
Business?
saw.
How
I
about
think.
what was that good movie he did with oh, you said that, Emily Blunt. That's Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Were either of the Top Guns on there?
Top
I don't know
Gun.
if we said that. Was that
Top Gun is
that
on
three?
there. The first one, yeah.
Is that all of them? Do we get them all?
Maverick isn't on there. You got one more movie.
Oh.
Risky Business?
Tropic Thunder?
No, I don't
Night
think you're
and
going to
Day.
get it. It's The Last Samurai.
Oh,
Oh, but not a good movie.
Not a good top four for Tom Cruise, I didn't think.
Well, you could do just the last four Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah,
You're like,
I mean, you
okay,
can-
great.
yeah.
It's like doing Harrison Ford's, and you're like, not one Star Wars. Like, what?
I think one snuck in there now.
That one
Yeah.
snuck in.
Up
It's
next-
not Empire Strikes Back. It's Force
It's definitely
Awakens.
the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, when he's like the ghost.
Just the
talking
ghost.
around,
Our
The
next
internet's so stupid.
Our next two cast members are repeat from last week. Glenn Withrow playing Tim Shepard this week. He played Biff last week. And Diane Lane, who played
Cherry this time.
Cherry Valance this
Patty
week,
last
and
time.
Patty last week. Yes.
She looked better last week.
I think she looked better in color this
I
week.
think she looked better this week. You saw more of her last week.
That is
Maybe
true.
that's
That
it.
is true. But it was black and white last week.
Yeah, but she was wearing a black lingerie.
But I'm a big fan of like people being in their actual color than negative color.
Oh yeah.
Is that negative color? Absence of color?
I was saying when we were watching the movie that Pony Boy was simping over
Yes.
Cherry. And I had to explain.
And I said, huh?
I had to explain
What's that
simping
mean?
was.
He was a simp.
I said, what? I think I said that. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's like a simpleton? Like, what are you talking about?
It's a person. It's a person that goes out of their way to either impress their crush or really flirt with their crush or do anything for the person that they're
Crushing on. Like the things you do for me.
Pony
That's
Boy was
true.
Pony Boy was walking away.
My
Come
hand
back
on
here,
your
Pony.
thigh.
Okay.
That's why I keep
Oh,
letting
yeah.
you go
Pony
higher.
was into Cherry.
Oh yeah.
Where did we leave off? Oh, after that was Leif Garrett, our first Leif Garrett movie. In our
Still alive.
still
Leif.
alive, yes. He played Bob Sheldon,
Head Soch.
head soch.
Head socks.
Wouldn't you say
Head
the other
socks.
dude was the head soch though?
Oh,
Robbie, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But he was up there, I guess we say that.
I think he was the head one, and then
He was a dick.
well, he was the one that.
Bob got killed, so then he became the
Yeah.
head Soch.
Wait,
I'm thinking
Leif-
of Randy.
Leif lived.
Randy is what I'm thinking is who the head soch was.
Bob's the one that died.
Bob's the one that got
Bob's
killed.
on the died. I'm thinking Randy was the head soch.
Isn't that?
I thought Bob
Leif?
was the head coach because Bob was the one with the ring. That was Cherry's boyfriend, I think.
That's the one that beat up Ralph Macchio.
Well, that was
That's
one
I
why
guess.
he
Well,
got stars,
I guess
right, yeah.
Bob was the lead
Yeah.
until he died. Yeah. Yeah. So Leif Garrett played Bob Sheldon. You want to try his?
I won't even begin to try. I couldn't
I don't
tell
know
you.
any.
When Michelle and I talk about our common interests, and Michelle is 14 months younger than me, and we talk about all the things we have in common, and she brings up Leif Garrett, I'm like, Outsiders? And she's like, oh my God, no. And she rattles off a bunch of stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know
I did not
anything.
buy Teen Beat magazine. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Well, I'll
he was
give
a
you his top
singer
four then.
before, and I'm like, I didn't
He
know
was a
any of that.
singer?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a singer. He was also in a couple episodes of Chips. Very good episodes of Chips as well. His top four: The Outsiders, Dickie Roberts, former child star. That's that movie.
That's way late, though. That's way after the fact.
That's Nick Swartz.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
that's-
It's still.
But
in
I'm
his
just saying
movie.
that's not when he's like at his highest.
still in his top four. Right?
No. I'm just saying like
But it doesn't matter
Go
when
on,
his top
go on,
four is.
go on.
You know how these top fours are fucked up.
I'm just saying.
Ralph Macchio's was Karate Kid 1 and 3. Why not 2? Made no sense, right?
They're anti-Japanese. That one took place on Okinawa.
But his was Dickie Roberts, former child star, Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. That's it. Joe
Oh,
Dirt.
Dirt. Yeah.
Who was he in Joe Dirt?
Yeah, he was in Joe Dirt. I wouldn't even have known him in that.
Yeah. What
Was he playing Christopher Walken in that?
I forget where he was at. Was he?
I don't
Was
even know.
he might have been one of Kid Rock's friends, maybe.
My knowledge of Leif Garrett's so small that if he was in Joe Dirt as the main character, I wouldn't have known that was him. I would have just been like, oh yeah, He's not Dennis Miller or David Spade.
Yeah, who was he?
I don't know. I'm telling you,
I don't remember.
Outsiders is the only thing I know him
I
from.
forget him. Yeah. And then the last thing was Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh, the Bee Gees thing from the 70s?
yeah,
Okay.
that was really, really bad. Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, this guy was humongous in the 80s, and I don't get it.
I know his name.
Yeah.
I mean, before this, I couldn't.
But
know
I remember
Yeah.
even like when the Outsiders was big in the 80s and they were talking about him, I'm like, what? He's not Rob Lowe. He's not Patrick Swayze. Like, why are we talking about this guy? He's a nobody. But now, as an older man now, whenever
find
he gets
anything
into
else.
trouble, whenever he's getting busted for like whatever he's getting busted for, and it's usually heroin, I'm like,
Can't kick that, man.
This guy's still like doing heroin, huh? Good for him. He's like in his 60s now and he's still doing heroin, because usually you don't hear about any 60-year-olds doing heroin because they've been dead for 20 years. So
That's what happened to Jerry Garcia.
And-
Wasn't he in his late 50s? Yeah.
1,000 other people. Like, when you hear about being a heroin addict at 20, you don't hear about him being a heroin addict at 60.
Wait, Jerry Garcia died of heroin?
Come on, man.
I didn't know that.
I think it was cocaine and heroin.
Ooh,
But he was a
damn.
heroin addict for most of his life.
Yeah.
I thought he just dropped dead.
Well, he dropped dead of a heroin overdose.
Damn.
Let's go
I
on.
didn't know that.
But that was in like 1995, so you've had 30 years to catch up to that news.
Darren Dalton played Randy Anderson. He took over as the lead Soch, and he had the conversation with
Patrick, Daryl.
And then he caught for the Phillies
he
in
had
the
he had the
1993
conversation
World
with Pony
Series.
Boy.
Oh, that was
Sat when
Randy.
he brought him into
Okay.
the
He
car.
looked familiar. What else was he in?
He was in nothing.
No.
No.
He was in Red Dawn.
Oh,
He was the one that they kill in Red Dawn.
He
right?
was in
one
The
that they shoot,
Outsiders. You saw that now. The Land That Time Forgot and The Lurking Fear are in his top 4.
yeah.
I don't
And
think
and
I
then he
saw
was a
it, but-
Phillies catcher for like 12 years. Went to the series in 1993.
That's Dutch.
Darren Dalton, but still.
That's Dutch, though.
But I remember like when I saw Outsiders like many years after I
Doesn't
watched it, I'm
Darren
like,
Dalton-
Darren Dalton? I'm like, what?
But didn't the baseball player have a U in his last name?
Oh,
Right?
I will not be tested on spelling, for God's sakes.
I want to say he did. I want to say that's the only difference, because
There might be.
because this Dalton doesn't have a U in his last name, but I think Darren
Yeah,
Dutch
Dutch.
Dalton does.
If you think
Darren
that I
Dutch
could
Dalton.
differentiate that.
Marsha was played by Michelle Mayrink, and that was
She was the only other woman with a speaking role in this?
that
Wow.
was her friend, right?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
like
I
her.
guess
She
the
was
mom
fun.
off screen was yelling, but
she was fun. I liked her. She was kind of just like
she was like one of those people I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah, the baseball player is spelled with a U.
okay.
Yeah.
But like Cherry was getting all mad at
Logan and my other son Daniel got Darren Dalton, the baseball player's signature at who's that? At the
Phillies camp. Nah.
Nah.
Was it
It
at
was
a
at
game?
the bar over there in Bordentown.
All-Stars.
All Stars. Yeah.
All-Stars.
Oh, right there in Bordentown? Nice.
Yeah.
Your mom calls me and she's like, Darren Dalton's here. I'm like, does that mean anything to you? I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, it means a lot to me. She's like, well, what do I do? I'm like, get the kids to do something. Like, take a picture, get a signature.
Dance up and down.
So they got a picture and a signature.
What was he
with Darren
doing
Dalton.
there?
I was like 6.
Yeah, I think he was
it
there
was-
for like an autograph signing.
I don't
but-
remember that too much.
Wait, All Stars was there when you were 6?
Yeah.
Maybe not 6. Maybe like 6 or 8.
Yeah,
All-Stars
it was
was-
definitely like before the World Series win in 08. So
Yeah, that's probably when I started getting into baseball. I do have some amazing autograph stories, but
that's for another mini.
Yeah, we'll definitely
We'll bring Logan
bring
on
that
for
up, because I love autograph stories. I'm going to be
We
getting
should do
some
a
autograph.
we should do a Patreon autograph story.
I'm down
mini.
for that, because I'm going to be getting some autographs this weekend.
I've never gotten an autograph from anyone.
Dude,
Of course he
I'll sign your penis tonight.
Of course.
All right.
Why would he have gotten an autograph from somebody? He doesn't do anything, right?
You guys-
he doesn't know
So
anybody. He
if
doesn't
you go to
see
like
anything.
South Korea, if you go to Seoul, I'm sure you'll get 1 million signatures. Just be like, please.
well, when I start playing basketball for this adult league, and I put the exciting new podcast on the jersey.
Oh,
when
as
they're
our sponsor?
I said we should
that you guys are
sponsor.
sponsoring.
I
us,
definitely
and when
would,
We're
yeah.
playing
Michelle paid for all their shirts. So I was
When
like,
we're
hey, we
playing-
sponsor this team.
when we're playing like all these like 40 and 50-year-olds playing basketball. They get to look at the thing. Like, oh yeah,
podcast.
So-
Check it out, guys. Yeah.
You can talk
That's
to all these guys
pretty
as
cool.
you're beating them, be like, "Did you ever see Outsiders?" They'll be like, "Oh yeah, when I was a kid." Like, yeah. Listen to the podcast.
Clint Howard. Yeah. I'm meeting him this weekend.
Clint Howard, I know.
No one ever bragged about that in the history of the world. Jason's like, I got him. I'm locking him down. Was it locking it down? Locking it down, right?
And I'm going to get him to say, Ann Landers sucks.
And he's going to meet Adrienne Barbeau and get her to
Really?
starting a new podcast because she is the patron saint of.
Yeah.
Adrienne Barbeau.
I like
and
her.
I just got her book in the mail today.
I'm so excited for you.
She wrote a book.
She
Everyone
actually
has a
she has her book, her autobiography, which I couldn't get. I tried to get it off of eBay.
It's ungettable.
No, I tried to get it on eBay. I emailed the guy and said, "Hey, I'll pay for the shipping. Can you overnight this to me?" He never got back to me.
Oh,
So I was like, "All
lost
right."
the sale.
And
how
then
much was the cost of the book?
45.
And he didn't wanna-
I don't know if he didn't see it or what, but and then I saw it for sale somewhere else, and I was like, "Oh, I'm about to buy it." It was already autographed. I was like, "I'm not," and it was.
Wouldn't it be weird to say like you signed this?
And it was to somebody. It was to
Can
somebody.
you
so.
cross out Jonathan and write Jason? You don't even have to sign it. Just
Just right on top
But
of it, just like
she
it's
wrote
like-
she wrote 2 other books with some other guy, Michael something, and the one I got was Vampires in Hollywood, and she's on the picture. Her picture's on the frame.
Oh, she was a fiction
on the
writer.
wrap. Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
I know she did that. I'm so excited for that.
I know Adrienne Barbeau, Clint Howard, and
I hope when I'm in Florida next week, I get a text message from Jason where he's like, "Listen to this," and it's Adrienne Barbeau just going like, "This is Adrienne Barbeau, and you're listening to an exciting new podcast."
That's so. I mean, I got our. She's our patron saint, though, Lauren Marie Taylor.
Right
She
now
has
is.
said it.
Right now she is. But Adrienne Barbeau trumps her by like 1,000 trumps.
I mean, she's so fun, and I hope I can introduce you guys.
You
to her
had
when-
that sound clip of her, right?
Yeah, I got a video of her.
Yeah, I
But
watched
like
the
we
video.
should like roll that sound clip
I
into
told them
our.
to put it on Spreaker. I told them to put
But
it on.
we should like put that
put that
into
for
our,
our
like,
100th episode.
like
Oh, yeah.
like figure out how to put that on there, saying like I'm.
you know,
blah,
it
blah, blah,
sucks that we have
from
no
Friday the
sound.
13th,
We have
part
no
3.
sound effects for our 100th episode. That's just really. I don't know. It just sucks. I mean, it happens. That's us. Our 101 episode.
Well, we have them. They're just post.
Brian's gonna find him in his
We're
sock
still
tonight.
working through stuff. You guys are still working through
Oh, wait,
stuff.
It's only been 3 years.
Should we get back to the cast? I didn't even get to
Oh
Tom,
my god!
Tom
I mean,
Waits yet. Tom Waits played Buck Merrill. I'm going to go through these real fast. He was in last week. You had Gaylord Sartain playing Jerry. William Smith, who was also in last week. He was the store clerk this week. He was a cop last week.
Oh, that was the cop. Yeah. He was a big guy.
Sophia Coppola. Coppola played little girl also as Domino. Once again, she came up to the car and
Do you have 2 cents?
Matt Dillon yelled at her. Go
2
ahead.
cents. Yeah, 2 cents or
Yeah,
10
she-
cents.
she's
Or
like,
something. You have a dime.
You have a nickel?
dime.
Yeah, do you have a dime? He's like, get out of here, kid.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man.
Man.
If you guys, I have the man count as that many times Matt
Ooh,
Dillon
that's
said.
going to be a good guessing game for us in a bit. Heather Langenkamp, in this, her scenes were deleted. She auditioned for Cherry, didn't get it. Her scenes as an extra were cut.
Oh.
Damn,
Play-
that sucks.
Playing Soch number 3, who has audio in this. He has a line of audio.
We paused
We
this.
paused
like,
it. We looked up images on this.
Look,
Go ahead.
I know. We looked up. I looked up images as well. It's very grainy. But when I watched the subtitles,
you saw Soch 3
Soch
pop
number
up.
3 comes up.
Oh, wow.
And he says something. I don't remember exactly what he said.
He says he's like.
Get him.
I was
Go
gonna
on,
say- I was
get
gonna
him.
say-
Go on now. You go
I
get.
was gonna say,
who's Soch number
knock
3?
me down. I'm not bigger than life.
He's like, go on, get. But he played Soch number 3,
Who did?
Flea.
Flea.
That guy.
And
Really?
Cam Neely played Soch number 2. That one I
Did he
couldn't
also
see.
have dialogue? No. Okay.
I don't know if he had dialogue.
I
didn't
saw
don't remember his
along
name.
with Heather Langenkamp that Melanie Griffin also was in this as a uncredited extra. I don't know if she got cut.
I didn't see
all
her.
I saw
She
was
didn't
her
make the
name.
IMDb,
All I
yeah.
saw was her name listed. I don't know if she was in it or not.
possible.
Tom Waits' voice last week when we were talking about Tom Waits, I was like, his voice has been described one way. I want to find that. I found it for tonight. It sounds like it's Tom Waits' voice.
What do you want?
Soaked in Nevada bourbon, left hanging in a smokehouse for a few months, and then taken outside and run over with a car.
Where did you get that from? You came up with that?
No. Daniel Derschultz, some some guy that was a critic of his music that was describing his Tom Waits voice. I was like, yeah,
That's good.
That does sound like his voice. It's like soaked in bourbon, run over with a truck, hung out the door.
He was so quick in this show.
Yeah, he was the bouncer at
You
the.
barely saw him. He opened the door. He's like, "What do
He
you
was the
want,
bouncer
kid?
at the
What do you
bar
want?"
there, and
What do
he
you
was
want?
in and out.
He had more of his role last week in Rumblefish was better.
I think Francis Ford Coppola, awesome that he cast him in both movies. Didn't use him enough. He should have used him as the narrator in both of these. It was great having Ponyboy narrate this movie. It would have been much better to have Tom Waits narrate
did Ponyboy
this.
narrate this movie?
Well, he
I think
started
the
it off
beginning
saying
and
like,
end, that was really it.
well, he's writing the story.
When I walked out,
yeah.
when
Made
I
it seem
walked
like-
out of the movie theater into the sun, all I was thinking of Paul Newman.
Ponyboy was actually Essie Hinton was actually Ponyboy. She was writing about herself.
Which is weird. She is so boy centric in both of her books, but
Yeah.
you would have thought she would have had a better female character, a lead kind of strong female.
No, and she just
in
made
the book,
Cherry.
like Soda Pop's, Rob Lowe's character has a girlfriend who's really big in the book. I think her name is Sandy. I'm pretty sure. But
I think you said that wrong.
Sandy. But I know there's an Outsiders uncut version that they released in the
Is that the
in the
Criterion
2000s.
version?
I don't know,
Or-
but there's like another half hour of
really,
like, I guess
I'd like that.
Like
The
apparently,
director's cut?
Apparently, a lot of people complain that he cut so much out, and he's like, "I filmed this book back to back, but I had to cut stuff out." So there's a uncut kind of every part of the book is some kind of version.
I would like
I've
that.
never seen that version. I've never seen it available.
if
I
you
don't
do,
know.
pick it up. I got it. I'll give you the money.
We should watch that and do a separate uncut podcast.
Patreon.
We'll do the uncut version. Speaking of uncut, Gizmo's getting neutered tomorrow. I feel bad for him. The boy has been alive for like
Well,
3
maybe he'll
months.
stop biting me
and
every
they're-
time
and
I come
they're-
over here.
They're cutting his balls off tomorrow.
Thumb. He was
His
all over
nails.
my
Not
thumb
going to
today.
jump as
Michelle's so
nails.
excited to do this. I'm like, you don't
No,
know.
that's the other ones that's jumping.
Oh,
so
Lily.
Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Lily's the one that
She's a
jumps.
high jumper.
Yeah.
I just changed my shoelaces from last time she ripped them off, and they already broke. So
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't wear my shoeless
I guess I gotta
or my
rock.
laceless.
This is a shoeless
sneakers.
out. This is like
Yeah,
a
I gotta rock
prison. No
Velcro.
belts, no shoelaces.
I don't own any shoelaces.
Well, you're not allowed to be around anything like that, right? That you can hang yourself with.
That's
Right?
true. Or hang out.
Did we do the whole cast? Are we done with the cast?
Yeah, we're done. Talk about this fucking movie, please.
oh yeah.
What do you got?
Well, as much as Matt Dillon is a bad actor, when he's smoking a cigarette.
good actor.
When he's smoking a
he knows how to
cigarette,
smoke a cigarette.
he
doesn't
looks so cool when he is smoking a cigarette.
Unlike Mickey Rourke last week, who didn't look like he knew how to smoke a
Yeah,
cigarette.
he barely. Mickey Rourke held the cigarette
He was like holding it. Like,
with the wrong fingers.
he didn't know how to smoke a
And
cigarette.
one of the greasers at the end when the rumbles start, and he's like also holding it like that. I think when we pause,
And I love when they do the and they just let it dangle from their lip and they're talking.
and he's
A
always
lot
like
of broken
moving.
cigarettes.
So I was
too.
asking Ponyboy, "Yo, man, you got a what, a cancer,
Cancer
stick?"
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did say cancer stick. I was like, should that be a warning? I guess they don't care. Whatever. They're all dying soon anyway.
Oh well,
This was 1965. They
I
didn't
mean,
care.
Ponyboy. No,
Hold off.
sorry.
No, you can say it. It's okay. We're talking about the movie now. Go ahead. We're all over the place.
I was really kind of surprised when I saw this yesterday when we were watching it with Michelle that they basically did the end credits at the start of this movie. The way they had like the names on the side
And then they
they
shrunk it
zoomed in into like, I was like, I've never seen a movie do it like
the
this
way the
before. It
names
was
came
really
up at the
weird.
end, though, too, it was really big.
And I thought
Names.
that
I might have turned it off by the end of the credits.
I thought that introduction was a lot longer because I timed it because I thought it was like a 3-minute introduction but I forgot the cast wasn't as big. I think it was only like a minute and 15 seconds or whatever. But
You think everybody in the world's in this movie, but it's
Yeah.
like 8 people,
Yeah.
which is still a lot
It's
of
a big-
people.
it's
But
This is the biggest cast, I think,
Ensemble.
that's gone on, like ensemble cast that's gone on to be as big as individuals as they are.
I don't think you could pick another movie where you could say every one of these people is unknown, except maybe Leif Garrett.
Yeah.
Everyone
Or even-
was unknown, and they all went on to be, I mean, like degrees of fame. C. Thomas Howell, I would not say is super famous, but
He's famous enough.
he's famous. I know who he is, and I know who, like, obviously Ralph Macchio and
Matt Dillon.
all the rest of them
Yeah.
are even bigger than that. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'd like to know pound for pound. I think this is the
I would say, I would put this up in the fight. If
I would like to know what even competes with this as far as a bunch of unknowns that all go on to have much bigger careers, because it's really
Even
crazy.
a couple of my friends know who other like if they've seen this movie, they're like, "Oh, that's Karate Kid," and my friends don't know anything.
Yeah,
about
Logan's
it.
got some terrible friends. Like, obviously, Brady knows as much as Logan does. Well, maybe not as much,
if
but
not
close
more.
to.
He probably knows more than me, but
He probably knows a lot of anime and South Korean teen porn, but
He doesn't watch anything I recommend.
you don't watch
don't
anything we
blame him.
recommend.
That's true.
but Logan's got some friends that don't know anything from anything and nothing from nothing, and they would know Tom Cruise.
I mean, they wouldn't probably know his name, but they would be like,
They wouldn't
well, like,
know his
they
name.
would they could see Ralph Macchio and they would be like, oh, that's Karate Kid, or they could see, let's see,
They wouldn't know.
They might-
Would they say Top Gun if they saw Tom Cruise?
maybe
Rob Lowe, like, no.
I'm telling you, when me and Brady
mean-
watched Tommy Boy the other day, and my friend's sister gave it a 2 out of 10. So
And that's Rob Lowe right there,
Yeah.
as we discussed earlier. And I forgot earlier.
2 out of 10 for Tommy Boy. Really? Oh,
I believe
I
without
told her parents,
I
and they
believe
got
without
really mad
anybody
at me. I was
rewatching
like-
Tommy Boy right now, that movie gets like every score starts with a 9 in this room.
Right.
That's, one
That's
of
a
my
95,
that's so
95,
good. I
98.
mean, if I'm flipping through the if you ever flipping through channels and that's on, you stop. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's a great one. Yeah.
One of the things I caught in the beginning where they're in the movie theater or the drive-in or whatever, and Matt Dillon puts his feet up on Cherry's seat and he falls backwards, and you can see Ponyboy start to laugh, but you can see him looking behind the camera like he's laughing because it was a blooper, and he's like looking at
The old man started
Cobra.
laughing too.
Well, you can see him looking at
Ponyboy
the
looks
director.
right at the
he's
camera.
Looking, he's like looking behind the camera and he's like laughing, and then it cuts to Cherry's reaction, and the laugh of Ponyboy is still going on, but C. Thomas Howell is just like straight face at that point. I'm like, okay, I caught that.
That was definitely a blooper that they just left in the
definitely.
movie.
That made it.
That was fun.
yeah, the old man that was sitting behind him
Yeah.
was laughing.
Yeah, I think
And that
everyone
was,
laughed.
you know what? The old man, the old couple behind these punk ass kids at a drive, or was it? I guess it was a drive-in. Yeah, there
Drive-in,
were the
yeah.
cars there. But like,
Yeah, because they
what-
let the people out of the trunk.
Yep, yeah, right. They did the trunk thing. Yep. But why would those old people be at that movie theater?
Emilio Estevez.
Because they're not
great.
old like
Sheets
us.
scattered
They're like
about.
old, like 70-year-old old people.
How
like,
drunk
like,
was
what?
Emilio Estevez in the at the drive-in when he showed up there?
Oh yeah, when he just like
He's up to all the
slipped in
different
behind
cars.
him.
He's up in all the
Yeah,
cars
he
and
has
everything.
the best scenes. Like every scene he's in, those
He
three
just-
scenes. With,
he was
when
so
he's lifting
fun
the
throughout
girl's
this whole
dress,
movie,
and then
just
when he's
felt-
coming up to the guys when they're talking to the girls, and then obviously
He was definitely my favorite character.
obviously when he whips the knife out and he breaks the
Oh, yeah.
bottle and hands it to that.
Two Bit's my favorite
Oh,
character.
yeah.
His butterfly knife.
Yeah.
He was great
action.
with that. Yeah.
The whole motion does a 360 and does like 4 different things. Breaks the bottle,
Breaks the
hands
bottle
it,
and hands it back, and then takes
whips
up
it out.
See,
Yeah.
Thomas Howell's gone on to say that Ralph Macchio was very serious on set and they didn't get along.
No, really.
I thought that was interesting because he's a little older than everybody too.
Yeah.
He was like the second oldest, I guess,
Yeah.
of the
the main
yeah.
cast. Yeah.
But yeah, so he was like the serious one on set.
The
And I guess he
serious
would have
one.
been because if he's hanging around with 15, 16-year-olds and he's 20s trying to hang out with the older guys, probably he wouldn't be hanging out
Was C.
with
Thomas Howell? Was he 14 like he said?
He was 17.
He was 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody know how much a deluxe hamburger cost at that diner right there on the corner?
No.
No, I didn't get
I
that.
don't know.
It was 75 cents for a deluxe hamburger.
Nice. And
I'm
do
always.
you know what deluxe means? I can tell you what deluxe
What's
means.
deluxe mean? Lettuce and tomato.
Mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomato. Yeah.
I love looking at prices when it flashes up. I'm like, oh, I got a price because I think I got a price later on. Oh, I do have
how
a
come
price.
you didn't get?
I do have a
How
price.
come you
later.
guys didn't get the Debbie Does Dallas sign last week? That
I
made me
know,
really
and I
upset
got
that
and
you
this
guys
week
missed
I
that.
do have. I wrote it down this week when they showed because at this drive-in movie
I got what
theater
was playing at the drive-in.
they showed W.C. Fields on the screen like flapping around, and then it said it was Damn, I wrote it down.
I got. Do you want to
Oh,
guess?
Beach Blanket
You got
Bingo.
written
It
down.
was Beach Blanket Bingo, and I'm like,
outta here.
that's
I
a
just-
Nuffincello
I just
movie.
said I
Like,
had it right.
I know,
was trying
but
to
I had
play
it in my
the
notes.
game, man.
But like,
Make your brain get it.
but why'd they show W.C. Fields on the screen? That's 20 years before that movie ever came out.
What they were showing was not Beach Blanket
no,
Bingo.
and that's why I was so surprised when they showed
They
that.
obviously couldn't get the
arcade.
rights to Beach Blanket Bingo. They could only say it.
I have what movie are they playing? Beach Blanket Bingo. Why do I see W.C. Fields?
I got to go pee real quick.
Come on, man!
Right in the middle of our 100th episode.
We're dolphins.
It's just these damn stones.
I have no stones down here.
Wait, are we gonna hear it? Let's just record the sound, audio.
Pee into this.
Just bring your.
Clink. Are you still recording?
That's why I wanted the mics in that podcast I sent you the other day. Did you watch it? I said I wanted to get the mics in this.
Oh yes, those ones where they were
They're
in the car talking.
Doesn't that look fun?
So we're gonna walk around.
No, we'll
that's
drive. We'll
what
go
me
for a
and-
ride, dude.
Me and Dom have we got like clip on to shirt mics for our basketball game, so we duct tape.
Are you gonna do that tonight?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a?
Yeah, I got to bring duct tape.
Oh, that's so fun, dude.
I am so in favor of that. I want to hear that afterwards.
Yeah. We're gonna
We'll put that in the exciting
we'll
new
post that on
podcast.
YouTube. Yeah,
We'll put it out as a.
Post it on
We can put it
TikTok.
on our feed.
As a Patreon.
Yeah.
We'll get it out there.
I'll
so
make sure. I'll make sure that
We'll,
when
we'll let our
shooting
12 YouTubers check that out.
I'm
for
sure
you.
when they're doing free throws, I'll be like, check out the exciting new podcast. And
I'm looking back at my outsiders notes, and there's
Wait, keep talking about outsiders. Even though Brian's gone, we can keep talking.
But
Yeah.
there are notes I have in here where I'm like, I don't even know what I meant by this note. Like it must have
Say
struck
it.
me as, damn, I had it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
even
Here it is.
looking at
It's like, what's a madras? Like at one point they say like a madras, but I don't know what I mean by that.
Madras? I don't think I know what that maybe is. It a misspelling possibly too?
Maybe. I wish I had a weed. I know Ralph Macchio said that at one point. Like I wish I had a weed.
Yeah, he says that when I think they get to the church. Well, also at the movie.
I also
theater.
have man. They make smoking look so cool.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Dillon knows how to smoke a cigarette. But when Ponyboy's talking to Cherry about his parents, their parents got killed by a train in the car.
Because he doesn't he have like a flashback kind of
Well,
thing?
Yeah.
A train
it shows
getting
like
hit?
how
That's when he's
it
out-
shows, it
that's when
shows
he's
them
sleeping with-
having a picnic, and like then cuts to them just like sitting in the middle of the train tracks, and the train just absolutely demolishing this car. And I think
Especially-
we were both like, really?
Is this really the right time to
like-
be talking about all this with all the train derailments that have been happening
But
lately?
honestly,
too?
who gets stuck on a train track? Like with a car, maybe in the 50s it happens or 60s, whenever this happens.
It was
But-
65,
Speed trains.
so I
There's
guess-
no way this train's coming at like 120 miles an hour. It's probably going like
ding, 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 ding.
That's
ding,
one
ding,
of Patrick
ding.
Swayze's best. I thought we lost you like we lost mom and dad.
I heard a groan from
It's a
way in the
tough.
distance.
Patrick Swayze's tough to do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's my bet.
Oh, I don't think anybody has a Patrick Swayze. I don't have a Patrick Swayze.
well,
no.
see, he's actually an actor, so he has ranges. He has ranges.
My best
Whoa,
Patrick
that, did you pass it?
Oh man, can we do a Patreon where you pass the stone? Ting.
And we'll call it Romancing the Stone.
Row passing the stone.
But yeah, I think
Brian, you got any
So
internal
what
notes?
were you saying? What were you saying about the movie?
I wasn't saying that.
I was trying to get him to just come back in and be normal, but
Because we were just going to cut it when you left.
which way did it go, church?
Brian, this is the first time you ever saw this movie. What do you think about it, man?
Wait, say that again.
It's
I know we talked about it, but I just want everybody to hear it. This is his first
you
time.
heard that right. You did hear that right.
I have a feeling that. Well, first of all, it's going to be very controversial.
Okay, stop. Stop right there. Right here in my notes, I say all of our scores start with at least an 8. At least an 8. Brian's score probably doesn't start that high.
Are we doing scores?
No.
No.
All I'm saying is that, like, I don't think you can watch this movie at 57 or how old are you?
That 52.
52.
62.
And
That's exactly.
I don't think you appreciate how awesome this movie is.
That was exactly what when I was watching this with Christine, and I'm getting up and I'm leaving and I'm coming back, and she's getting emotional at parts, and I'm just like, I keep hitting the little down button on the fire remote to see how much time is left.
Man.
I mean, there was like,
And I was like,
It's an hour and 31 minutes.
I mean, this movie
dude.
flies by. There is no slow parts in this movie.
Brady
at all.
loves this movie. Christine loves this movie. And I think you have to be this is a movie written by a kid.
Written by a child. She was a
have-
child when she
16,
wrote this.
You
yeah.
have to be a kid, and it affects you as a child. When you watch it for the first time at 52, it doesn't have the same
Does not.
effect.
I'm actually kind of glad you did not watch this movie as a kid, because that definitely gives it a different perspective. Because I think even though my son's sitting next to me, we watched this at the same age. Like we saw this at the same age, 40 years apart or 36 years apart, whatever our age difference is. But I'm glad that you brought that perspective here, because I feel this is that kind of movie. This is of the time kind of movie. You got to be a teenager to watch this to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give him the right to give this movie a bad score.
No, it also does not excuse the fact that he did not watch this in the 80s when everybody who was alive in the 80s watched
Did you
this
know
movie.
of this movie back then?
I knew this movie after I got married to Christine, and I'm like,
In the late 90s.
Who's this pony boy you keep talking about? Why are you telling me to stay gold?
When they said that in Ted, the Marky Mark, Seth MacFarlane movie,
It's
because
unbelievable.
they say "Stay gold, pony boy."
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. You
didn't
didn't
get
get
it?
that reference. Huh?
Oh, no.
Everybody else got this reference. They were laughing about you behind your back.
Theater.
Like, Stay gold,
I don't
Brian.
get it.
What? Stay gold. What's that mean? Gold member?
What the hell is that
Goldfinger?
supposed to mean? What are you saying?
I don't know how I didn't watch this movie.
I know how. I know how.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, he grew up in Northern Burlington in the 80s. The nearest movie theater is probably like an hour and a half away.
No, but
He was like these kids.
But he's talked of seeing some movies.
He was like this kid in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
There was a
walking
movie
and
theater
walking
in
and
North
walking.
Hanover.
Did you ever go?
Oh yeah, I saw Pee-wee's.
He just said he saw a movie in
Big Adventure.
Kentucky. That's how far he had to travel. There's no movie theater near. Like,
Northern Burlington kids had to go to Kentucky to
Red
see
Dawn.
Red
movies.
Dawn.
Do you know how old
Oh,
Pat,
Logan, that was awesome,
that was good.
man.
But do you know how old Pat Swayze was in this movie?
Patrick Stewart?
Pat Swayze.
Oh, Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
He
Stewart-
was-
Patrick Stewart would have been good.
So wait, so Machio was 20, right? So Patrick Swayze was probably like 26.
I would say 27.
22.
29. 22.
Yeah.
Did you see Patrick Swayze in this movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
He looked 22.
He did.
Now,
He
was-
looked good, man.
Was this before Dirty Dancing?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
This
yeah,
was
yeah.
like one of
Yeah.
his first.
I think this might be one of his first things too.
Wow.
I don't know what he did before.
I didn't
this.
look up to see if this was like
I mean, this
his
is
first
definitely
thing, but
the first thing you would know him from.
I don't know. I think he'd done some stuff.
I don't know.
Ghost.
Maybe I should. That's after.
That's
Red
after,
Dawn's
yeah, but I
after.
think-
Oh, Red Dawn. Yeah.
Roadhouse is after.
Keep talking. I'll look it up. Keep talking.
I mean, this is the first thing for all these guys, except Leif Garrett, who apparently has some kind of pop career. Everybody else is
He
their
had
first
a big
thing.
pop career. Too.
I know, but I missed that all. I never bought an issue of Teen Beat or 17 or whatever the girls were buying, whatever my wife is buying, and be like, oh, Leif.
And,
It's actually Leif.
Is it Leif? I don't know. You say Coppola or whatever for Francis Ford Coppola. So I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you.
Did you know Patrick Swayze's in an episode of MASH?
I'm sure I saw that episode.
1981. That was his third thing. He was in Skate Town, USA, which is a great movie. He plays Ace Johnson. He's in The Comeback Kid. It's a TV movie.
Comeback Kid. I remember that
1980,
movie. Sure.
yeah. With San Diego Padres.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
The Padres, they needed help back then. They needed to
They still do.
advertise.
Then he had MASH. Then it was Return of Rebels, Toto, Rosanna video. He was in the Rosanna video for Toto.
I did not know that.
I did not know that one either.
You
know who Toto is?
The band?
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah, I saw them in concert at the Hilton,
Oh.
the Hilton in Atlantic City. It's a really good show.
I remember listening to the song Africa.
But then the
outside a
Outsiders.
cruise ship.
So then the Outsiders
Like
was after
25
that.
times. So it was a bunch of nothings until.
Yeah, so it was one of his first things, yeah. Because then he had Red Dawn in '84.
Red Dawn, man.
Red Dawn next
year.
year.
Red Dawn is
Oh, all
awesome.
of these, yeah. I think Karate Kid was 84.
Yeah.
I think all these movies were just all back to back.
You got
to
yourself
back.
a wild 84 coming up. I know
Yeah.
we don't have that laid out yet.
This
but
was like their trial movie, and they all succeeded. And so they just said, roll them out.
they're like, do it.
At the beginning of this movie, shit, man, did we talk about this? I forget if we talked about this already. When they're first walking up to the drive-in, and Johnny and Dally are both wearing jackets, and Pony's wearing his tank top cut off.
We didn't talk about this on here.
Okay.
Yet. No.
I'm like, he is going to be, why is everybody else wearing a jacket and he is wearing a tank top? He's going to be so cold.
Yeah, they never say. I don't know what season it is.
I feel it's like fallish. Like
Yeah,
you're back
like,
in
I
school
mean, you have what,
kinda
that
thing.
thunderstorm, right? Yeah, they're in school.
Well, they're all dropouts, so I guess they're not in
But-
school. But I guess it's school.
Ponyboy's not. He's writing his
Right, he's
paper
writing his
for
paper,
school.
yeah, and
So-
Sherry says not to say hi to him in the hall.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Bitch.
it's definitely fall, between fall and spring. I think it's fall and.
Fall and spring. You're missing a whole
I had
season.
Well, I'm saying it's between fall and spring. Like it's
I
in
thought the
that
same
time
thing
period
when
there.
I watched this by myself, but I thought the same thing. I was like, why is he not getting a coat? And when they ran back to Johnny's house, they didn't get a coat. And when
And
they
then
ran back
he
to
ran back to
his
his
house,
house.
He didn't even walk in. Ralph or Johnny's mom was just like, "Get the hell out of here!"
Yeah.
It was
Oh, we're going to the lot.
so cold in Oklahoma in this movie, but like everyone was sweating bullets in the Rumblefish.
That might have been in the summertime.
that was a summer movie, I believe. Yeah, but it gets cold in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at night, and you're in a tank top, that is uncomfortable in July in New Jersey. And so Oklahoma in the fall, I'm sure it's uncomfortable. and
Yeah,
I just kept saying, like,
definitely,
they're sitting there, and eventually he says something. He's like, I wish I grabbed the jacket. I'm
I
cold.
think Johnny
I
says,
was like,
"Why
oh
don't
my
you get
God,
a
thank
coat?"
God someone said something, because I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh my God, how uncomfortable must he be?
And then Dally gives him the sweatshirt. He says, "You're going to get pneumonia."
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
But Dally takes care of him, man. Dally's got him all set up, gives him gun.
Well, I
gives-
think that's why you think
gives him the
he's so
money.
he feels so much older in this movie than Rumblefish because
And he
he's-
lives in that
he's-
bar.
He's way more independent in this movie.
he's already went to prison.
yeah.
He didn't want Johnny to go there because that made him hard. That turned him hard. He didn't want him to be like that. You know?
Oh, that hard.
yeah,
Hard.
not
hard.
that kind of hard. Yeah,
maybe.
that's his kind of.
I noticed in this movie again, another
Hey man,
Oklahoma, Francis Ford Coppola, S.E. Hinton, Matt Dillon movie. It was very smoky again in Oklahoma. Like, what's going on in Oklahoma?
The smog.
But it's just like smoke coming out of the ground. Like, why? What's happening there? Why is it always smoky? Because there's multiple scenes where they're just walking around in smoke.
like in the park when it's nighttime, but even
Just
before
smoke.
the
it's not
fight,
fog. It's not any kind of
that has to be
precipitation.
some kind of like
it's just
symbolism
smoke.
or something. That's
Yeah,
probably some
it's like
director.
that's
secret.
a Coppola
Yeah.
thing. No one's eating an orange though. That's a Coppola. Someone's about to die thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He bought a fog machine for Halloween and he wanted to write it
I gotta
off.
get my money out of this.
he rented it. He still had it though. He had it. He needed. To
I know
use
we
it for both shots.
we
Both
like
shoots.
bashed this last week, but like the difference in accents. This movie is amazing in that you got Matt Dillon's
Queen.
obviously
Yeah.
New York accent, and Diane Lane's trying to do her Midwest kind of like. Remember?
Yeah, but
And
Diane
then-
Lane can't do any wrong in this. She's really
I'm
nice.
not
I
making
love
fun
Diane
of
Lane.
anybody, but it's
I love her
amazing
now.
how all these people are Oklahoma born and bred, and they all sound like I don't know quite what Ralph Macchio's trying to do with this. You just tell me, Pony, you stay golden, Pony.
I mean,
And-
everybody knows he's from Newark, right?
He's from Long
Ralph
Island,
Macchio's
right?
from Newark. No, for Karate Kid.
Oh, Karate Kid.
I think
yeah.
some people are trying to act, and some people just don't care. Matt Dillon's like, I don't do accents.
I guess because
Well,
we're-
he also says when they're in the bar, he says, "I thought New York was." What does he say? He says something about New York.
that's where he says he thought he would get a murder rap in New York, not
Yeah.
here in Oklahoma.
So maybe he's stating that.
I thought he said that because saying like only people in New York get murder raps, not people in Oklahoma. I thought that's what that meant, not that are you from
yeah,
Oklahoma?
maybe.
No, I thought it meant that he's like,
It would explain his accent better.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Well,
here.
yeah.
Matt Dillon's such a terrible actor. It's just so funny hearing him trying to act, I guess. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good.
I got a good story I read. I wanted to share with everybody.
Please share.
Me. During filming, Tom Cruise, Andy had mentioned this earlier, had gotten the script for Risky Business, which he films in 83. We'll be doing it later. But in the DVD commentary, Diane Lane says very quietly to the other actors that Tom had asked her during filming to play Lana in Risky Business, and her father told him there was no way in hell she was going to be a hooker in his movie.
Is Lana the Rebecca De Mornay?
Though he apparently had no issue with her playing a groupie in Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains in 1982 when she was 15, including a nude sex scene with a much older man, or being
15,
or being topless and having an orgy in Rumblefish. No, being in those movies. She was in movies that had that stuff in it.
She wasn't actually.
Rumblefish was 10 times worse than.
Yeah, that orgy, right?
Yeah.
It was black and white. It was artistic.
Yeah,
I think so too. That was definitely the something Francis Ford Coppola would do.
True. If I had any white, there would have been some.
The scene
But that
where,
was my little story. I thought I'd share.
No, it's
That
good.
is a
It's
good
good.
story.
When Johnny Dally comes to the church, when the boys have dyed their hair,
when he's getting them.
when they have dyed
Only
their
dye
hair,
one hair.
when they have so
Pony only dies.
when
his
they have
hair.
so made themselves inconspicuous.
They
don't
barely
know.
cut their hair.
Johnny didn't dye his hair. They cut off a couple strands. I felt the rebirth of Rusty James from last week because we sat there counting his mans. In that one scene, there were 6 mans at the end of his sentences.
Yeah, I think
Because-
there were 6 man. I'd have
But
6
please.
mans in a minute.
6 mans a minute. Do you have any other
you have any numbers you want to share with
or
us?
any Matt Dillon stats?
Well, I have the Dallas man count. I have the Rusty James name. How many times I said Rusty
Please give us all
James
these
count.
Oh,
numbers.
from Rumblefish?
And I have the Rumblefish man count.
Oh,
Let's do the
we need
Rumblefish
this.
stuff first.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, Rumblefish.
So we'll do Rumblefish man count. How many times was man used in the Rumblefish? Now this was a bit tricky because
I get to play now.
some
I don't
like
even
I
get
looked
to
up
play.
the Outsider script was like it was tricky because some times it didn't say man. I'm sure Matt Dillon just like threw it in.
Yeah, I
so-
was telling Andy that I think that he probably ad-libbed a lot of those
but
too.
Rumblefish man count, yeah.
Rumblefish man count. Can you give us an over/under? Can we do an over/under kind of thing, or is that not fun? Should we just guess?
He might blow it by giving us too going too close to it.
All right, I'll say the man count of Rumblefish is 37.
I'm gonna say 52 because he said 52 pickup in The Outsiders.
I'm going to go in between 45.
It was 39.
Wow.
39.
Andy, nice.
And that's the man count. How many
That's Rusty. That's Rumblefish's. How many
many man
count.
can
Rumblefish is
Rumblefish.
man?
How many times they said Rusty James?
That
his
is even
name,
that's
Rusty James.
even that's an even better question because
That
it's
was
so
said
annoying.
A lot.
It's probably not said 37
Are we
times,
including
but
the Russell James?
It was just Rusty James.
Okay, because there was one instance of Russell James that was pronounced.
I don't want to go again. I don't want to like set my.
All right, I'll
bar
go
too
first.
high or
I'll go
low.
first this time.
I have a number.
gonna say-
I have this number right here.
I'm
That's
saying
my number.
I'm saying 26.
I'm going to do 42.
I have 30.
It was 17.
17.
said
Damn,
Rusty
it
James.
seemed like it was so much more.
And then
I won that one. Whoop whoop.
And then for the Dallas one, it was on YouTube because I couldn't find the script because the script didn't have man in it. Matt Dillon just,
All right, so now this is from
he
The
just threw that in.
Outsiders,
So
right?
there was a YouTube video and I just counted how many times with all the scenes.
Oh, did they do like man?
well,
They
it
just
was
got
like
the-
every scene he said man
Okay.
in The Outsiders.
You go first this time.
25.
32.
18.
That one was 37.
37. Wow.
So he was just right around there with man. He was,
He's a big man.
big
And
man.
it's so funny because sometimes these scripts, like if you look up online, it's the working script. And then a lot of times it's we took the movie and
Meet
just
script.
and then we just made it the script after the fact. So it's
yeah, it's a bit tricky to find
Yeah.
it. Because
It's
you
like when
can't
there's-
find every man, obviously, but
Like those people that
Man,
try to
man,
think
man,
they're the cool people when they're reading the book, but it says it's based on a movie and it's got the movie cover on the book already.
Oh, yes. Yeah. When they're reading that already, the based on the book version. Yes.
yeah, I think from
Like,
where
dude, Richard Gere, we knew you weren't reading it before Richard Gere was already cast in the movie. We got you.
I think from the time he got to the church to pick the kids up to when the school started on fire and they started saving all the kids, I think he probably said man 20 times within.
Can we talk
just
about-
that little?
When he says, I'm hungry twice. He says that when he gets there. Are you hungry?
Yes.
And then they do go out to eat.
Yep.
Why the hell are you driving like that? You got two wanted people in the car, right? And you're driving like that.
Didn't that
And-
happen in Rumblefish too, where they were like driving crazy and they were wanted already? Like, I don't know. It seems like that's a common thing now. Like
And another thing that pissed
all
me
the times
off
I've been
was
wanted, I lay low.
Is that our theme for 83?
Johnny says, I'm starving, and Ponyboy says, yeah, nothing. I forget what they were eating when they were in the church. I think it was just like ham and cheese or
Yeah,
Well, he
because
got
they went and got
bologna
cold
and
cuts.
then they
Yeah,
got
bologna,
peanut butter and
right.
jelly.
That's what it was,
yeah.
bologna. And they went to Dairy Queen because he said, do you like barbecue? So they went to Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And Matt Dillon starts talking about Cherry, about, oh, I think she hates me, blah, 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 blah. So you think he's into me? And Ponyboy has 2 bites into his pork roll sandwich and just throws the
That's right, he throws the
entire
whole thing
sandwich out of the car.
Yeah, I thought
Now the
that
girl
was
asked for a dime, just pick that sandwich up.
Yeah.
And who asked for the dime?
That was Domino.
That was Domino,
Yeah.
Mrs. Coppola or Miss Coppola.
Coppola.
Coppola. I think it's called Capicola. Mrs. Capicola.
I think it's Gabagool.
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 I want to know why Christine brought this up too. Why is there a field trip to an abandoned boarded
That was
house?
very
was
strange.
Was that a school or was that?
It was a church trip, I
Well,
think, or something.
That wasn't.
But the
I think-
church was
I think
boarded
that's-
up.
I
That
think that's
wasn't-
just a 16-year-old writing a story and getting
because that was. I always thought when I first read it and when I first saw the movie, I thought it was the church they were at because
It wasn't it?
Was
That was
it?
the church.
Yeah,
they
that
were
was
at.
the church.
And I think it was their cigarette that like.
Well, that's
lit
why.
the
That's
thing
why I
on
thought.
fire.
I think that's why they make a point of
burning.
saying "watch your cigarette,
and
John,"
it
because
shows it.
I don't think
zoom
they
in of,
they don't
okay.
show the cigarette catching the church on fire, but I
shows-
think you're supposed to assume
Well, he
that's.
shows it dropping
Yeah.
onto the hay. Okay.
But yeah, why are they?
Well, why are they going?
Why
back?
are they going to an abandoned church? The kids. Why are the church?
Yeah.
Why are they going there?
Yeah, why did the teachers were like, okay, yeah, it's all boarded up.
And
Go
how
in there
long?
and
How
play.
long were they out for?
Not
they
that
went, They
long.
went to go get Dairy Queen
Yeah,
down the road.
an hour at the most.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
and that teacher when they were in the hospital, he said, "You shouldn't smoke, kid."
that was great.
I love
As
that.
he's,
He has a cigarette.
he's basically C. Thomas Howell's basically in blackface, just like
and
just like
that's-
shouldn't smoke it. Like
and that's Matt Dillon's best line where he's riding around.
oh, that is great. When he's come by the gurney, he's like, "I'm gonna kill you."
He says, "If you ever pull a stunt like that again, I'm gonna kill you."
That is great. That's also followed by his best line in the entire movie.
Well, we said you're going to get out of here, buddy, and then he dies shortly after.
We're gonna do it for Johnny. We're gonna do it for Johnny.
Well, he said, yeah, he
That's
asked
his
for the
best line.
cigarette, and then Ponyboy.
Oh, that's when he turns around, right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Cigarette, and he goes. She starts gripping. You see his all back muscles. Gonna do it for John.
There was a
Man.
lot of muscle. This movie had a lot of musculature
Oh,
in
man,
it, man.
Patrick
There were-
Swayze's shirt.
man, that's right.
That's where it was at, man.
Very tight. Yeah, showing everything off. Better when it's off though. But
Yeah, right. Of course.
I guess at some point someone said, "Look at your tough hair." Was that when he got
that's
his
what I
blonde
wrote
hair?
too. But I can't
I don't
remember,
remember
why I wrote that.
that
That's the
down.
one note I don't know why.
Is that
I
when
wrote.
they shaved or cut his hair and made it blonde? Look at your tough hair.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably right.
I guess, but like I think I said something how it looked like a wig, and it.
Or maybe it's right. I see beer and cake for breakfast right after that. Maybe Emilio Estevez said that to him when he got back to his
yeah,
house.
that was beer for breakfast there. It was 2-bit, right?
Yeah, it was 2-bit saying that.
But maybe Two Bit said that. Look
Maybe.
at your tough
And what
hair.
was the other line? You like hate to tell you this, buddy, but you have to wear clothes to work. There's
Yeah.
a law or something.
Yeah, Tom Cruise said that.
I got a couple of
wrote
them
that.
here. I got what was it? Oh, Johnny, man, that was a tough car. Mustangs, they're tough.
And I think Patrick Swayze's best line in the entire movie is, "If you smoke more than a pack of cigarettes a day," and he just like does the finger
He
point,
goes,
like
no more than a pack of cigarettes a day to a 14-year-old.
14-year-old who's just been in like a fire, probably has black lung already, but
Yeah.
that's
Da-
of the
Dallas
time.
is lying.
No more than a pack of cigarette a day.
Dallas's lines. I don't like little kids. I just don't like them. And I'm sorry, I don't know you had this problem with yelling in my face.
Yelling in my face when he wiping the soda and he throws the chair when he's standing up and
He's like, yeah. And then Johnny was telling him, like, hey, lay off, Dal.
What'd you say? What'd you say, man? What'd you say?
One of the things I was noticing when Johnny had already gotten in his accident was
Johnny just got beat up, man, with those rings.
when they're talking to him, and I'm like, does he have a mirror? They're staring down at him. He obviously has his head. He's a paraplegic or quadriplegic or
Oh, yeah,
he's some kind of palegic.
He said he couldn't feel anything from his back. Right?
down.
Yeah.
So I guess he can feel his arms, but they still have his arms up, and they're looking down at him, and he's looking up at them, and there's a mirror underneath him to look up at them. I'm like, is he just staring at his own beat up face though? Oh,
and just think about it, because you know, like, he had to be like slobbering.
Oh yeah,
and just like that was just like dripping.
Well, because
on
I mean,
the-
when the nurse comes in to say that the mom's here, and he's like, that's when he passes
when he
out. When he gets
passes
all
out,
mad,
yeah.
like he's just.
oh
like,
yeah. He's like, I don't want to see her.
He's definitely drooling right there because he like
Yeah.
falls like with his lip like
Yep.
hanging out. Yeah.
yeah, that was.
And the Socs come to the Rumble in their best white pants. Like they were so well dressed. They had their sweaters tied around their
timing
neck.
of that
and
storm, right? The
And then it
storm was
starts
perfect.
raining in the mud, and they're like, "We're ruining our
That's-
pants. Mommy's gonna have to yell at us to get things
And that's
dry
my-
cleaned."
The entire Rumble is like I love that scene from when it starts to
Yeah.
when it ends. And my favorite shot of the movie is when you can hear the thunder for the first time. They're showing all the greasers, and they go past Patrick Swayze, and it's like the close up of just him and the thunder rumbles. I was like, whoa.
and then his guy comes up right in their face to face.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, that's his old.
They played football together.
Yeah.
But when the greasers are all getting panned around, and you got all the guys you know, and then there's like 4 guys at the end, and you're just like, who are those guys?
They're the
was-
red shirts.
Michelle was like, are they all the same guys? She's like, I think they all look exactly the same. They just like kept repeating the same guy. They kept cutting the same guy in there.
Yeah, I think there's like 10 greasers, and there's
Yeah.
one greaser that's like the second one they show, and there's a shadow that's getting reflected, and
right,
it's
yes.
covering his face. I was like, imagine being the one greaser that doesn't
don't get
get
your-
hit.
you-
like,
you got
you're
the
in this-
You're standing
you're in
between,
this
like,
scene,
half.
but like that could have been Flea.
You're standing between
That
like
could've been
Rob
Flea.
Lowe and Emilio Estevez, and you're just like this guy in the
That's me.
shadow. Like,
Honey,
put
I
a sha-
swear.
put a
I
shadow
swear
on
it's
that
me,
guy's
honey.
face.
That's definitely me. I'm telling you.
You're gonna be standing next to Rob Lowe. Don't worry, you'll be in a shadow.
I'll show you, honey. I'll show you when the check comes in.
Yeah, and then that's where
We
Dally
probably-
comes in.
We all watched it on HBO Max, so you're welcome. There's royalty checks coming in.
Yeah, I hope these guys all get a little something. It would be funny if Tom Cruise is still sitting there going like I got another 13 cents.
Hey, that I tell you,
got
who would
it. I
take
got-
it. The Church of Scientology.
I bet Leaf Garrett's like just like I'm gonna go get a dime bag tonight.
Yeah.
I'm down with Leif. What's up, Leif?
I have here, and Tom Cruise shouldn't be opening his mouth that much, but like I know his teeth were all banged up at this time. Like
Hey, he enjoyed that cake.
He famously,
I'll tell you
like,
what, that cake looked good.
he famously had a lot of dental work done. Like I
Double
remember,
chocolate.
there was like an Academy Awards or something where he came up there with the Invisalign, like in his talking to Invisalign in his mouth. So I mean, that's fine. Everybody has banged up teeth. when they're young.
Nick Cage auditioned for both Derry and Dallas.
His nephew, Francis Ford Coppola's nephew.
And I wonder, like, why he didn't
He was
give it
in
to him.
Rumblefish last week
Oh, was
as
he?
well. Yeah.
So
I just
did he-
learned that
he
out
played-
last
he played
week.
Smokey.
I heard it, yeah.
So did he give it to him after? Like, did he feel pity?
Well, that's
for
what
him?
he said. He said he did some method acting for the part by locking himself in a room for 2 weeks, drinking beer and staring at a photograph of Charles Bronson, hoping that the physical and mental attitude of playing
Hey
a
there, boy.
thug
How you doing there?
would rub off on him. Director and Cage's uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, turned him down and told him to audition for the part of Two-Bit. At this point, Cage was so fed up from all his hard work, which ended up being in vain, that he walked away from the project.
Who was he going to audition for?
Dally and Derry, right?
Derry and Dallas.
Yeah, I can't. No. I mean, obviously not.
Nick
but
Cage could have done Matt Damon's part because they could have both done
Matt
a terrible.
Dillon, you
Matt
mean?
Dillon's part.
Matt Dillon's part. What did I say?
Matt
Damon.
Oh yeah, Matt Damon. Was Matt Damon in this?
No, Matt
But Matt Dillon and
Ben Affleck is.
and Nick Cage are the exact same actor. They're both terrible and they both overact in everything they do. So I could have seen him doing
Nicolas
this
Cage
part.
would have just did a voice different.
He would have just done it like this, man.
Why am I not in this movie?
if you ever pull another stunt like this, man, I'm going to kill you, man.
Brian?
I'll do Brian's. We're going to do it for Johnny, man. We're going to do it for Johnny.
Do Christine doing her line that she does to you all the time.
Oh yeah. Stay gold, pony boy.
God damn, dude. Can you have any inflection
He
whatsoever?
really has none.
Johnny's giving it his all. He's like, gold. He's like,
What else you got? Anything
I got
before we get into scores?
one more note.
Go ahead.
I
what do you got?
have one more note also. It
and
doesn't
I'm
Here,
matter.
let's
sure
go.
it's the same thing.
No, it's definitely not
the
the
same
Take
thing.
turns. Who's
Well,
going first?
I'll go first because I bet Logan's is better. When Dally's at the
Would it be funny if he took yours?
No, I definitely didn't take his. When he's at the convenience store, right
stole
before
my
he gets
burnt
shot,
offering,
right,
so I would
right
know
before
how
he
it
gets
feels.
shot, and he rips up the magazine, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
"Gotta get you," blah, blah. And there's just a big sign that says 6-pack of Wink, 55 cents. I'm like, what's a 6-pack of Wink? I Googled it afterwards. I still don't know what a 6-pack
Wink.
It costs 55 cents. I'm sure it's some kind of local Oklahoma beer, but it was just great
Couldn't
that they
find
said
anything online about it.
I did not.
Yeah.
A 6-pack of Wink cost 55 cents back then. I think it was just like,
That's interesting. I wonder what it is. Yeah.
All right, Lo, what's your note?
Well,
I wanted to
since
tell about the 6-pack of Wink.
talking about
Sorry.
Matt Dillon and overreacting. I think the best way to finish this movie off and was
His death scene?
his death scene when he's praying up to somebody and his hands up and his chains in his mouth
And everybody's like, no, it's just a kid. It's just a kid.
and he's like crawling down the hill and then rolls right in front of them. Oh my god, that whole scene when
Yeah. It's rough.
I remember watching that as a kid, I was like, what the hell is he doing? Like, is he dying right here? And he dies. I was like, oh.
It's so disappointing that back-to-back movies by S.C. Hinton, like, I feel like the main character, Dally and Motorcycle Boy,
Wait.
like
Motorcycle boy.
like I feel their deaths were so kind of suicide by copish. Like, let's do something stupid and
Yeah.
just get killed. And
Well, the whole Motorcycle Boy and
he stole fish
it made no sense, that whole fight.
and then got killed by a cop. And this guy rips up a magazine. He had a gun, so I can see why they would draw on him and shoot him, but it was unloaded. And
But they don't know that.
They don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know that, but he wanted to get killed.
Yeah.
You have an
Well,
unloaded gun.
They already they preluded to that, or foreshadowed to that.
Foreshadowed.
By he said, "Oh, Dally's he's gonna lose. He's snapping, man."
And I
That's when they
fi-
showed him ripping up the book.
Yep. And I kind of thought it was weird that Dally was the one that reacted this way. Not that he couldn't react that way, but Pony Boy and Johnny were the friends. They were the two close kids. I felt that I remember the first time I read this, because I read it before I saw it, that I thought Pony Boy was going to be the one that was going to.
I always thought he was
end
gonna
up-
die. Yeah,
he was going to be
He
the
thought
one that was
he's
going to.
sick. He's not wearing a shirt.
It's going to get
getting
pneumonia.
He's getting
So I was
out
always
there.
kind of surprised that like Dally was the one that like got killed because Johnny
Well, I
died.
think he's
Like,
also like the
I think it would have made it a little
whatever.
more
Most unhinged.
It makes it a little more sad, obviously, if Pony Boy
and
is the
Pony
one that
Boy
ends
has
up
to
dying,
finish
you know?
writing the book.
and Pony Boy, it feels in my heart like having watched this movie just recently. I think we might have talked about it last night or not, but like it felt very Stand By Me.
And
where he's writing his book after
Did you
a
ever see
traumatic
that?
event.
I did.
I
But-
love like I remember when we first read that and first watched, I loved how that ended.
Yeah,
And I write scripts of my own and I add that little thing in my script sometimes. Like I
You
remember
write Stay Golden.
I wrote a script for my video production class, and that's
Yeah.
my guy was an author. So the movie started and ended with the same line.
that's nice. Yeah, I like that.
It's amazing how many authors cast authors in their movies and books. I think most of Stephen King's main characters are authors. You know, like Misery
ex-
and Dark Half and
Are you
Shining.
excited
and
for
all that.
scores?
I am only excited for one score. I'm only excited for one score. I feel I know most of the scores in this room and above us.
So should we let him go last then?
Yeah, I think this is the one time I'll allow Brian to go last.
Okay. I'll you want me to go first?
You can go first. You can go whatever you want.
I love this movie. I love the book. I love the movie. I mean, maybe when I was told to read it in 7th grade, I might have had like an FU attitude because I don't want to read it because, it's school. Why
Fuck
do you got to
books,
tell me
yeah.
to read this? You know?
I want to read what?
You know why? I'm not going to school to read, man. I don't go to school to read, man. And I don't like substitute teachers living in my building, man. Sorry, that was from Rumblefish. I apologize.
Man.
But I love this movie. And I give this movie, I've given this score quite a few times. 88%, Brian.
Wow.
88%. Why 88? Because that's how fast the DeLorean had to go. And that's an 88 from me.
I also love this movie, and I love 80s movies, like the 80 kids movies, like the Goonies and Breakfast
So you're gonna
Club
come
and
on
all of
again?
that. Oh, yeah. And you were talking about Pee-wee before. I can't wait for that. Anyway, but I watched this movie a couple weeks ago with my friends because it was on HBO and we had nothing else to
Just
watch.
for shits and giggles, right?
Yeah. And then I heard you guys talking about doing the podcast like the next day. And so the couple of times I've seen this movie, I've had to deeply analyze it. And every single time I watch it, I feel like it gets better. Every single time.
I could see that.
So I gave this score a 92.
Nice.
Excellent.
There's no slow parts. It's funny. There's drama.
I think you could have more.
I think I actually want to try to track down the extended version just to watch
But-
it one time to see what happens.
I would be down for that.
even with all the bad acting, it's
that doesn't matter. They're all
just-
kids. It's all good.
I love this movie.
You fit
when,
right in because you feel like you're.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a greaser.
I remember
just
when
fit right in.
Logan read this book, or maybe it was Daniel, but I think it was you.
I probably did listen to the audio going.
But I remember we had to buy the
Read
DVD.
it.
We had to buy the DVD because now we had to watch it also.
Yeah.
And we watched it. I remember, and this is going back however many years ago. She's been like, man, I forgot how much I love this movie. And that was the last time I watched it until last night. And I still love it.
Yeah.
Still love it. I gave this movie an 85. I still enjoyed watching it. It's so much fun to watch. I'm actually glad it's short. I think if it was longer, I'd be like, this feels like it's
Definitely.
this feels like it's cut perfectly. So I want to watch the longer version like we did the Apocalypse
What's
Now
Michelle's score?
to also set. Well, I'll get there. So I'm so glad we watched the regular version. If I'd watched the half hour extra, I'd probably been like, this didn't feel right. Like Apocalypse Now with an extra 40 minutes
That was
of nonsense
unnecessary, yeah.
didn't feel right.
Well, I also I feel like this movie was longer, and after rewatching it more and more, it is
Shrinking.
it's
it's
definitely perfectly cut.
Yeah.
So Michelle's original score was 1 million.
I can't fit that in here.
And then she said,
How many zeros is
she, she said, how about a 90?
She's
after
always
that?
had problems with the scoring
Yeah, she
system. that we
does.
have
She
here.
does not know what 1 out of 100 means.
So 90?
But she said a 90. I mean, Michelle obviously loves this movie too. Leif Garrett is her boy. He's the only guy in this movie that I'm kind of like, huh?
I like Leif.
Him.
Huge
All
fan
the
of
other
him on Chips,
I'm a big,
and I got a few of his 45s.
of course you do. I'm a big Greaser fan. Those Socs,
I'm a greaser. Greasers.
I'm not a big fan of the Socs in this, so like I don't care about Life as much as I care about all my other boys. But yeah, Michelle gives us a 90. So
Nice.
earlier, I don't know if this is when Brian was a peeing, and I said in my
No,
notes,
he was European.
He is European. I said in my notes, all of our scores will start with at least an 8.
Yeah, you said that.
And all of our scores have started with at least an 8. I go, I bet. Do you have your number? Your score
Wait, let's
written
get
down?
Christine's score.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Christine's score is
So Christine's score is 93.
okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I got Brady's too.
She's the
What's
high.
Brady-
you got
what's
Brady's
Brady's
too?
score?
Okay.
Brady's is 82.5.
What a
82.5.
psychopath.
Okay.
I hope he scores. I hope he
82.75.
I hope he scores 100 points tonight.
82.7.
Based on that, I say Brian's score starts with nothing higher than a 7.
I say it starts with a 6.
I was saying it
wow.
started like a 5. He's going to say 52. I bet.
So I'll probably never watch this movie again.
God damn, man! I will watch this in
Yeah.
2023.
I would watch it.
Again.
I would watch it tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if I struggled through it, but I definitely, like, when I would get up to leave and Christian would be like, I'll pause up, be like, no. So,
It was an hour and a half long.
just going to
How many
pee.
times you getting up?
and
How big is that?
That's
Kid,
I
how
didn't
big that?
hate the movie.
How big is
I-
that kidney stone?
I was about to say, he ain't had a kidney stone. He's going to miss the whole movie.
and I did piss a kidney stone during it, but I didn't hate it. I just didn't.
You didn't connect with it.
I didn't connect with it
That's
at
how
all.
you thought you were going to.
Yeah, I mean, from how everybody talks about it, I was just like, this is so not a Brian movie.
Wow, man. Like,
Yeah.
what's a Brian movie, man? Like, honestly, in this day and age, what's a Brian movie?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. was a
No,
Brian
no,
movie.
right now, not today.
Definitely.
Oh, not
Today, that's not his movie. Today, it would be a South Korean biopic or something like that. You know?
a 17-hour series. No, and it's not that this was a terrible movie. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't a
You think
a fun
it was,
movie.
It was overhyped for you.
It was definitely way overhyped.
Yeah, I guess if you never saw it
What's the
before, I
score?
can see how
What's your
it'd be-
score?
So my score is a 65.
I called it.
Five. Do you know if your daughters watch this?
Oh, I'm sure they
Read it?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Starting after his year, they were like, "Yeah, these kids got to start watching and reading this book."
Well,
He gave Rumblefish a 45.
when Katie started,
Oh, this was 10 times better than
when
Rumblefish.
Katie started high school, I don't think they required reading yet in Northern Burlington. So we'll have to ask her next time she's on. Like, when was that? When did you start reading? When you
Critics
were like 13,
score-
14 years old?
Critic score was 69.
Damn.
Audience
That low? Wow. 69 for the critics?
Audience was 82.
Damn, that seems low too.
Yeah.
I would have
What are we
thought this was
doing
like a
next week?
90. I think we've got High Road to China next week. I don't know what that's streaming on. That's a Tom Selleck, Bess Armstrong, Indiana Jones
I saw that
ripoff
one,
movie.
yeah.
I saw that in the movie theater. My daddy and I saw that in the movie theater.
Wow.
Yes. I had to be taken. I had to be taken out of the house. My sister was having a party. I couldn't be trusted to be around a bunch of. Let's see, if I was 13, my sister was 10. I couldn't be trusted to be around a bunch of 10-year-olds.
It's
That would have been.
$2.99 to rent on Amazon.
okay. We'll do that then.
And then when are we going to do it?
Well, I'll be gone next. Maybe we can do it like next Sunday.
Okay.
So it's still out by the Wednesday.
It's an hour and 45 minutes, so you can get that in, right?
Yeah, I'll download it.
When are you away?
I'm flying down to Florida on Saturday night, and then I'll be flying home from Alabama. No, I'll be flying home from Florida on Saturday morning. So I'll be home. I'll be able to do it Sunday. I will download it before I leave my house tomorrow, so I'll have it to watch by the pool in Florida this weekend.
Okay.
High Road to China. Good movie. Not great.
Right.
I remember like enjoying it.
I haven't watched it
Yeah,
since.
it's like a Indiana Jones ripoff. It's like Romancing the Stone, not that good, but it's. And I mean, I like Romancing the Stone. It's not like Romancing the Stone was also an Indiana Jones ripoff. It was just not quite Indiana Jones, but it's fun.
And look for our video of Lauren Marie Taylor out there. It's on our Instagram. Give it a like again if you haven't already.
I'm saying look for our Adrian Barbeau video next week.
I don't
on
know,
there.
man. Don't make me.
I am putting the pressure on you, man.
Pressure on it, and I'm going by myself.
I want you to text me how much you want, and I will Venmo you that money right there.
It's just going to be a video of somebody catches him pushing her down on the ground.
I'm just.
Say something new. Say something new.
It's just for the podcast.
I'm just hoping that she's like her line's not busy, like, and I don't think it
I
will
think
be.
we overvalue her for a group that's probably not looking for her at this thing, which maybe not. Maybe a lot of people have 80s nostalgia.
There was
for
one
her.
person in front of me, but I got there first thing when it opened, and I got to her right when it opened. So Monster Mania.
And she screamed, "It's coming right at me!"
No, I mean, but there was already somebody there. Is what I'm saying. Somebody was already in line there. But 10 a.m. is when Monster Mania opens up. So I think I'm going to go to Clint Howard first because I think that would probably be the busier line.
And you got I saw your picture that you already printed out to get signed. I am so excited to see that signed.
Is it from the Water Boy?
No, it's from Seinfeld. It's Clint Howard in
when
the
he's
back
a
seat
smog
of the
strangler.
car with Jerry and George.
Now he has a book that he did with Ron Howard. I was tempted to get that, but I want to get the picture sign. I think instead.
Good call. That picture sign will be key.
That picture will be on my Instagram and probably on Spreaker and everywhere else you get our podcast. Just kidding. You can't get that picture everywhere. But you can
Sure
get
you
our
can.
podcast there. Subscribe, rate, review, do all those fun things. And it's the Jazoo over there on the Instagram. Jazoo74 on Twitter. It's been the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy, AE Gonzo 1970 on Instagram, AE Gonzo 1 on Twitter. Go Logan's basketball team tonight.
The Aces. Let's go. Sorry.
And I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.
And I'm Logan. Exciting new podcast on TikTok.
Ah. Oh, come
maybe
back
someday
on
something will
soon,
be on
Logan.
there.